A lot of people don't know that wristwatches weren't mainstream until the 20th century. In 1812, Abraham Louis Breguet made the first known wristwatch for Queen Caroline Murat, Napoleon's sister. Now, at that time, men would normally wear their watches in their pocket, and women would actually wear them around their necks. It wasn't until the end of the 19th century that watches were more commonly worn on the wrist, but mostly by women. But all that changed in World War I when it became apparent that pilots, soldiers, and medics, mostly male at the time, couldn't afford to drop their guard or their hands in battle to check the time. Thus was born the trench watch. And from that day forward, wristwatches have become commonplace, at least for those who could afford them. Singapore-based micro-brand Vario has recreated early 20th century trench watches at a price that many today can afford. At only $388 US, the 1918 trench has sold very well for the brand, and for good reason. It is a well-made and good-looking watch. It was, however, a little dainty for my pizza-fed Canadian wrist, and so when Ivan later released a 40mm medic version, I was intrigued, and yes, it does wear much better on the wrist for me. And I like that it has a little more presence as well. Adding to the overall stature of the Vario Medic is the button strap made of crazy horse leather, which is surprisingly comfortable, if not a little short. The leather is a very good quality and it suits the watch quite well, but if I were to purchase this watch, I'd probably go searching on Etsy for something a little more custom. The version that Ivan lent into the channel is the white enamel dial with orange loomed oversized numbers from 1 to 12. The pulsometer, handy for medical applications, is crisply printed around the perimeter in red. Behind an air-coated sapphire crystal, handsome cathedral hands are outlined in black and filled with a slightly brighter shade of orange loom than the numbers. The medic symbol rests above the 6 and Vario's logo below the 12. Overall, the dial is handsome, crisp, and legible, which is kind of the point. The case is also inspired by World War II trench watches with a stepped, nearly bezel-less design. Everything is rounded off, and the brushing and polishing far exceeds most watches at this price point. True to history are wired lugs, as the first trench watches were simply pocket watches with lugs soldered on. Unlike my Hamilton Navy Pioneer, these lugs are fixed, which means with a proper strap, you could never lose this watch, even under the rigors of war. The sign crown is perfectly suited to this time period, and I love that it screws down for what is probably a fairly conservative 100 meters of water resistance. The case back can either come with this beautiful memorial etching or as a sterile dial that is more era appropriate, which can be laser inscribed for an extra fee. The movement is a Seiko NH38A automatic with all the modern goodies you would expect, like hacking, hand winding, and 40 hours of power reserve. But what I really appreciate here is that they don't just slap the movement in and call it a day. Each piece is adjusted for accuracy. And these Seiko movements can be quite accurate with just a little bit of adjustment. Now, you can't get the Medic in all colorways that are available for the standard 1918 trench, and that is a shame. But what they do offer, especially the white on white version, looks pretty great. And it's hard not to be intrigued by the brass version, but sadly, they're all sold out. Let's go over some nitpicks. First of all, the strap is too short for 8-inch wrists and up. Vario isn't shy about telling you that. Also, the loom is pretty weak, at least on this orange version. Vario isn't afraid to tell you that either. Orange loom is just not great loom, and that's the price you pay. The wired lugs mean that you will only be using a snap-down strap or a NATO-style strap on the Medic or trench. Again, that is the price you pay for authenticity. Fourth, the combination of the button strap and the placement of the crown means that adjusting the time is a little tricky, especially when on wrist. And finally, the Vario logo is well done, but it's very modern. I'd love to see Ivan reimagine his logo circa 1918, just as he has this entire watch. With his background in design, I think he can do an amazing job. But I mean, these are all pretty minor nitpicks. Overall, this is a beautiful watch that is born out of a love for history, horology, and design. If you like what you see here, you can definitely check out Ivan's latest release, the 1945 D12 Field Automatic, which is inspired by the Second World War and well demonstrates the evolution of the trench watch. And if early reports are any indication, their upcoming Empire True GMT is going to be a big hit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Okay, let's see how that turned out. If you're looking for more great, affordable watch content, then why not check out one of these videos down below.